Guys, we are back. Sorry for the breaking transmission. Yes, very quickly, we were talking about what happened yesterday, and I remember I was saying that Mohamed Salah never usually has a good day at Wembley. He has played about 8 finals there now, and no goals, no assists. Yesterday, even in the penalty shootout, he blasted this over the bar. Took his own penalty and blasted it over the bar. And guess what? It was one of the penalties that made Liverpool lose against Crystal Palace at the Community Shield. Now, Oliver Glasner came to a club that had never won a trophy before. Yep. He won them the trophy, the FA Cup last season, yes, and has now given them the Community Shield. This is a club that does not know how to celebrate because there's usually nothing to celebrate. This man has came from Frankfurt, and is making them celebrate.
Well, this is the best time to celebrate because now they know how to celebrate. It's a big one, for Crystal Palace. Kudos to Crystal Palace. Kudos to Eze, Mateta, Ismail Assar,
of course,
and the coach.
Gay, all of them.
Amazing. Yes, Gay,
the goalkeeper,
absolutely. Yes, Henderson, absolutely
all of them.
Brilliant. When it comes to the sports kick, you cannot rule out Henderson. He's a big threat against the opponent. It's not done. This is not the first time he's doing it. He's done it before with Manchester United. It's just a sad one to see him leave, Manchester United.
He wasn't getting play time.
Exactly, but it's a sad one to see him leave. Maybe if he had stayed, he would have ousted a certain Onana. But then Manchester United, are in the transfer market looking for a goalkeeper as we speak. However, kudos to Crystal Palace. They did it against Manchester City. They didn't just... Yeah, the FA Cup was against... was it Liverpool or Manchester City?
It was City.
It was City. Yeah. And now they've done it against
Liverpool.
Yeah, it was the Carabao Cup that Newcastle, eliminated
Liverpool.
They
beat them in the final.
And they are killing the big boys. It just goes to show you that the Premier League respects nobody.
They don't play.
The Premier League respects nobody. And it's going to continue like that this season. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Somebody is coming this season.
Eberechi Eze should not leave a club that is winning trophies. For a club that does not win in Arsenal.
I'm not with guns.
I saw the tweets.
I'm not with guns, and I don't want anybody holding guns by my side or holding guns to my neck. Arsenal fans, you know who to hold responsible. Look at him beside me. It's not me. It's not me.
They say you are winning trophies. Don't live for a
However, the addition of Eberechi Eze to Arsenal will be a very, very, very strategic one. It will be a big plus for them.
It's not likely he will be starting. He's playing a team where he's starting right now.
It's not likely he will be starting. So let's analyze it. If he comes to Arsenal, who is the threat for him, or the likely threat, is in the person of their captain, Martin Odegaard. Remove the captain and bad from Martin Odegaard, and he's going to be benched. Because I will start Eberechi Eze ahead of Martin Odegaard. No disrespect to Martin Odegaard. He's a brilliant player. He's an absolutely fantastic player, you understand. But I will start Eberechi Eze over him. That's just it.
Talking about yesterday's games, I mean, Ugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Frimpong, these are new boys. Even Milo Skekes was fantastic. And they all came to the party. Frimpong got a goal, Wirtz got an assist, Ekitike got a goal, Kekes was brilliant on the left side. It looks like, it's plug and play. And Aslot just removed a few boys. And then, just put a few boys. And the whole thing is intact. But they still went on to not win that game.
Oh, well, that's why I said it's the Premier League. Anything can happen. The Premier League is a respecter of nobody. As I can see teams like Nottingham Forest come to Manchester United and wallop them at home. They don't care. You understand? Yeah. That's just the Premier League. If you give them the opportunity, they won't take it. Give the smaller teams the opportunity, and they are going to take it against the big team. But this is the first time that Crystal Palace is winning, the Carabao Cup. What's it called?
Shield.
The Community Shield. The first time ever. And when you have the opportunity like this, because if you take it back, Liverpool started with the goal up, and then they conceded twice. They had to concede twice.
No.
They lost.
Ekitike scored, then Mateta scored the penalty. And then they scored again.
They had to let go of a lead twice. That's what I'm saying. So they led twice, and then they had to, lose.
Then Sarr scored.
Sarr scored. You understand? And then you ask a lot of questions for the Liverpool defense, especially the second goal. How in the world did they allow Ismail Assar, the brilliant Ismail Assar? How would you leave him open that way, and then you allow the pass go through?
That's a sweet pass, by the way.
It was a brilliant pass. The vision for that pass was absolutely, brilliant. And then, what do you expect from Ismail Assar? He buried it. That's what you expect, you understand? And then when it comes to penalties, it's anybody's game. is anybody's game. You know, you need to admit that. However,
but the penalties were poor on both sides.
Oh yeah, because
both goalkeepers saved. Eberechi is a missed. Mo Salah blasted it over the bar.
Yes, and I heard that Salah's penalty has reached somewhere in space.
It has landed in Slovenia.
No, beyond the surface of the earth. It's gone to space. However, you know, it's a big one for him. But then, questions are being asked of Liverpool. Oh, some people are saying, because now this is the third time that the winner of the FA Cup would go on to win the Community
But is it not
Shield.
good news, though? Because most times when people win Community Shield, that season, they don't win trophies. They don't win the Premier League.
Well,
bad for them.
Well,
so is it not a good omen for Liverpool?
That's not a good omen. That's not a good omen, because at the end of the season, when they don't win the Premier League, or if they don't win the Premier League, you won't say, oh, well, they let go of, because now the narrative will be that, oh, they have to let go of the Community Shield so that they can win. It's nobody's business when it comes to the Premier League, you understand? Anything can happen. However, they are like the favorites to win the Premier League this season.
Oh, really?
Oh, are they? The defending champions are usually the favorites. Not City.
You don't think this City or even this Chelsea that is buying everybody?
The top favorites favorite is Liverpool to win the Premier League. The top favorite is Liverpool.
So do you think
and the addition of Isak, the possible addition of Isak, would be a big one for them. However, Arsenal are not coming to play. Their big man has scored an opener and they won a trophy. Sorry, should I call that a trophy? They won something.
The guy that covers his face to celebrate.
Oh, he's actually going to to play well for Arsenal this season. It's a big signing for them, you understand. But then the favourites remain Liverpool. Yeah, that's just it.
All right. Of course, the season in PL begins on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Van Dijk has said, it happens. They know how to win. They also know how to lose. They have players who have tasted defeat. They equally have players who have tasted victory. And that it means nothing. And that the big night in Anfield on Friday is going to be massive. What do you think is going to happen on Friday, though?
It is going to be massive. Now, reason being that, Pep Guardiola has said it before, but there's just something about Anfield. When it comes to Anfield, there's just something that gives, opponents the creep when they come to Anfield.
You must be scared.
You must be scared. I don't know how they do it. I don't know what they do, but you are just, off it when it comes to Anfield. I could remember one season that Manchester United won the league. They had to go to Anfield. They needed a win in Anfield. And it was like the exciting Ferguson Manchester United had to park the bus for a certain amount of that game. You understand? And then it was what's his name now? John O'Shea, that got the late winner. It was a very close one.
Dramatic.
You understand? It was dramatic. And you need to see Ferguson celebrate. So for you to win at Anfield, it's going to be tough. I strongly believe that they will start off the season well with a win. However, the question still, would be, can they keep this form? Because it's good, like you said, it's like a plug and play when you have Ekitike, Frimpong and Witt. They are absolutely brilliant players. But, when it comes to the Premier League will test you. And on the long run, can they keep their form? And then other players. Because now, I don't know if you saw the news, it was 2 days ago that, what's his name, Virgil van Dijk was calling for the signing of, Isak. It was Isak, obviously Isak, or calling for a new striker. You know who Liverpool wanted to sign. Yeah, obviously. And then yesterday, after the defeat, the coach now said, it's not about getting a new striker. And he highlighted that they have lost or conceded goals in the preseason, too much goals. And he even said yesterday, they conceded goals. Now, that's a message to Van Dijk that you're calling for a new striker.
But you're not doing your job.
So do your job. That's a way to, to tell him to keep quiet and do his job. You understand? So do your job.
I was coming to that anytime. They've had a very bad preseason. They've conceded goals.
Oh, well.
Like water. Yesterday again, they conceded not one, but two goals. The first one, you can say, okay, it's a penalty, it was just a mistake. Then they considered another one from open play to show that they can concede from anywhere possible.
Absolutely.
The question again I want to ask is Mohamed Salah. Fantastic last season. Got his deal renewed. Same with VVD.
Yeah.
But it looks like since both of them got that renewal, they've been going down the slope. He has not been brilliant in the preseason. Yesterday again, I thought, okay, this looks like a serious game. Perhaps he'll bring his A game on. He was very quiet. Liverpool was playing majorly via Florian Wirtz, Ekitike, Dominic Szoboszlai. There was nothing really from Mo Salah. And when he got, a few half chances, he wasn't really in form. And he got a penalty that usually we just bury. The keeper didn't save it. It was not on target.
He buried it, but he buried somewhere else.
So
a new site.
These two big questions: conceding and getting Salah to work, because Salah just must work. If Liverpool are going to have a great season, how do you think they're going to fix those two?
Okay, so before I say how they are going to fix it, I want to disagree with you that they are going down the slope. The big test for them is this season. You could just say that, it's the preseason and then it's the Community Shield. Anything can happen because it's a one-off game, you understand, with the Community Shield. But then, when the season starts, the push comes to shove, these guys, I expect them to turn up. I expect them to turn up big time. Because Salah being Salah, anytime will turn up.
Mr. Premier League.
Mr. Premier League, you understand. However, the big question is, or the big problem is, when you have just one player and you are relying on one player to do the trick, to do the magic, a time will come when, this player will drop performance, will likely drop form, and he expects the other, the team members to, to rise up to the occasion. Look at Arsenal, for example. They relied so much on Bukayo Saka, and anytime Saka is out, there is a problem, you understand? Because a certain Martinelli doesn't come to the play. Gabriel Jesus is never fit. What's his name now? The German player they got from Chelsea. What's his name now? Kai Havertz is, over-labored, and he does so much, and then he gets criticized, and whenever he scores so much, and whenever he loses a goal or a penalty, everybody comes for him and says it's the problem, you understand? Things like that, and they hope to, relax it this season. And that's why, what's his name now? Florian Wirtz is in the team, and he looks like a player that can take up responsibilities, you understand? And then I expect it to ease, the pressure of Salah, which will be a key one for Salah, because now he had the opportunity, he had the whole chance, to play freely. He's going to have more chance to play freely and then disturb more this season. And I just believe that it's going to click. However, Arne Slot came into the Premier League. His first season, he won the Premier League.
Of course.
Which is a big one. It's a big one.
Now they will go after him.
They will go after him. Can he handle the pressure? Can he replicate? Because we can obviously say, it's the players that are the problem. The players are the problem, this, that. But the coach needs to show us that it's not a fluke. You understand? He needs to show us that it's not a fluke. And the way to start showing us that it's not a fluke is not the way it's starting already, because there's a spark between you and your player.
Your captain.
You understand? Your captain saying, defend well, do your job well, we don't need a new striker, this, that. You understand? So let's simmer down. You understand? Let's simmer down and let's calm down. Let's just calm down and say, they've signed a new season, a new deal. They sign new deals rather, and then let's see how they transform, they transfer their form from last season into this new season. I just hope, because there's a big signing in the club in Florian Wirtz. I just hope that, the big money move will not be a problem, or has not, come as, as a problem to the dressing room. Okay. And I hope it's not.
All right. For Crystal Palace, the news came in earlier that, they've lost their appeal. They were trying to appeal the judgment, but they lost a case, and they will not be playing in the Europa League. They'll be playing in the UEFA Europa Conference League, while Nottingham Forest will be playing in the Europa League. Well, like Oliver Glasner said yesterday, it was out of their hands. They were not even thinking about it, because they had done what they needed to do. But I think the boys will still be happy that they're in Europe. Who knows? They can even go. The English teams that have participated, more English teams have won that tournament. Yeah. Chelsea won it, West Ham won it. So who says Crystal Palace cannot go in there and win it? But it may also go on to destroy them, because when you are traveling every day, every week, now you're playing on Thursday, you're playing, and then you have to play the weekends. Many teams cannot
and cope. They might lose one of their key players, you understand? So they will need to sign more.
So they need more players. When they are going to Europe, when you're going to Europe, you need depth. Because Chelsea, what helped them last season was that they had players playing the Premier League.
Yes,
and that they had some players playing the Conference League.
I have a lot of questions about Chelsea.
So they were having fun. All right, our producer is saying time for us to go now. Whoop! A very big thank you to Ennis Odaramala for being here again. The biggest of thanks belongs to you, our viewers, like I always say, because, we are here because you are there. My name is Sheikh Gondor, and have yourselves a fantastic week. Stay out of trouble. God bless you.